Alright, let's take this off. Ooh. Hi everyone, welcome back to another Work In podcast episode. I am your lovely host Jada, and we are currently not in my car, which is such a weird sentence to say. I kind of just decide, fuck it, let's do it in the office. As you can see, that is normally my setup in the back, with all the shit everywhere. I'm actually using my partner's setup, so shout out to my lovely partner, because he has the camera and I can't be bothered to unplug it, so I just am using his setup instead. So I kind of thought in today's podcast episode, video, whatever, we would kind of do a little bit of an update, although I feel like this camera quality, even though this is a good camera, is looking really shit. This is frustrating me. Give me a second. Alright, I think that's a little bit better. I think, honestly, I don't use my partner's setup that much, if you can tell. I think it's the fact that his monitor. Yeah, because when I zoom this out, it looks a lot better. Anyway, ignore me. I just want to kind of give a little bit of a life update, because, you know, we're doing this once a month. So, it's been a very hectic month or so. I kind of wanted to talk about what it's like to lose somebody really close to you and have a lot of health scares. So for the people who know me, I am really close with my grandmother. She was everything. She was smart, she was funny, she definitely had some flaws, but at the end of the day, she was my nonna through and through. And yes, sometimes she gave me shit. Yes, sometimes she said some things that definitely hurt my confidence over the years. But at the end of the day, she was somebody that I was excited to see at every family event. She was somebody who I felt like was the only person realistically in the family that quite understood me. I'm very much a black sheep of the family, especially when it comes to my obsession with books and when it comes to kind of just feeling very left out and alone a lot of the times. She would be that person that would come and sit with me. I remember a lot of the times in Easter, we would spend Easter mornings together and read whatever book we were obsessed with at the time. We would talk about it, even if her books were very different to my books. She always took time to take interest and to listen, and I always felt very heard, which was an odd thing to feel in a family of very athletic, singing, musically inclined people. I miss her a lot, and every day since her passing has been difficult. I'm just having to learn to live life while still honor her memory. And I think that's why this year in particular, Christmas will be the hardest, because Christmas was my nonna's favorite thing in the world. She loved Christmas. She loved any family event, to be honest, because it meant we were all together. But she loved Christmas more because she'd always get a plate of ham to take home, and she would see us all dance, and put on performances and plays and have fun. And even though we kind of stopped doing that over the years, we would all sit around a table and talk, and they were always there for each other no matter what, and you could just feel the love. Even if our Christmases are very hectic, there's still a level of love there that I will never take for granted. My nonna passed very quickly. I wouldn't say sudden, but I would say quickly. She was on and off having some health issues throughout the year, but it kind of hit at a time where a little inconvenient for me. Not in that sense, but just a lot was going on. So my dad, who I'm very close with, found out he had prostate cancer about a month ago. So I had a month to acclimatize to that fact. Going from literally within one day I got told, he has cancer, we don't know how serious, but he's getting surgery. Are you free this day? And I went, oh, okay. I will be free. I don't care. I need to be free. And I told work immediately, and they were like, yep, take whatever time off you need. We're here for you. And so, I was helping my dad into hospital, and the day before, because he got gone the day before, that day we got a call basically being like, all hands on deck, Nanda's in hospital. We don't think she's gonna make it past the weekend. And I'm like, shit. My dad's in hospital, scared and alone, and he's only got me and my mum, and my poor mum is having to choose between her husband and her mother. And so we're like, just go be with your mum. I'm bouncing between the two, trying to make sure that my dad feels like he has somebody and is loved, and but also simultaneously trying to be by my Nanda's side because she's calling for me, and it's a tricky situation to be in for anybody. And that's why I'm so incredibly honoured that Matt really stepped up to help me. He was driving my mum and I around because there was no way we would be in a state to drive, but also we had to run between one hospital to another. So my dad was at St. Andrews, which is one of the best cancer hospitals, and my Nanda was in the RAP. So anyone who's in Adelaide knows it's one end of the city to the other. My mum was literally running, which was stupid. So instead Matt came and drove us, and I stayed with dad until he went into surgery. Once he was in, I went to my Nanda's side, my mum went to my dad's side, and then after a little bit we swapped, and mum had to go, and I was there as dad came out. I made sure he was okay. I didn't want him to be alone. Oh, I haven't cried about this. It's been hard. Sorry. I was making sure he was okay, and then luckily his mum came and helped us because it's too much. So I stayed with dad for a little bit longer until I got kicked out of the hospital, because visitors are only allowed to be in a certain time, even though that's bullshit, but whatever. I'm not going to argue with the nurse. So after I ran over back to Nanda's, I stayed with her until it was very late at night, and then went home and slept, and then repeated this process. I then had to, go between Nanda, and I had to grab dad, take him home, make sure he was doing well at home, resting, and then on dad's first day of recovery, that's when Nanda had passed, in the early morning. So there was a lot going on, and then of course, after some time, my mum came home and she crashed because that was her last parent, and somewhere between all of this is a lot that's happened, somewhere between all of this, I went in to have a moment with my Nanda, just her and I promised to keep taking care of the family, and I promised to keep looking after the cousins, and to make sure that they are all safe, like I've always done. But even more so, my partner Matt wanted a moment with her, from. And he had basically spoken to Nanda. She was kind of out of it. And asked for... Sorry. And it asked for my Nanda's blessing to marry me. Because he had always planned to ask her for the blessing when it was time, which was at some point next year, but because all of this had happened, he wanted to make sure he got it. And then that was the first time she had smiled really brightly. She was so excited. She was so happy. So it's been a little bit of a chaotic month. I had gone from dealing with that happened within a week, and then I had to play nurse and look after my dad and change his catheter, and he's a grumpy patient. He's a grumpy patient. And then I had to look after my mum, who was not okay. I went from doing that to then... So that happened, beginning of September. And then it was my birthday, and I didn't feel like having a birthday, but I didn't realize how much I truly needed that until it happened. And then I was in my final weeks of uni. And I was so stressed. Last 4 weeks of my university degree and I'm done. This whole degree is done. And all I could think about is how she wouldn't be here to come to my graduation. She always made an effort to come to everyone's recital, graduation, performance, whatever. Birth, christening, etc. So yeah, as of a week ago, I have officially finished my university degree. I'm in November now. As of recording this, actually, tomorrow is my anniversary of the love of my life. We've been together for 3 years, and God, it has been hell these past 3 months. It's been chaotic. And then the house I live in has been a bit all over the place with the people, and friendships have been a little chaotic, as per normal. I've actually gotten closer with some of my friends. I've forged new friendships, or I should say solidify friendships. I have a weird thing with friendships. I keep sniffling. I have a weird thing when it comes to friendships. I don't necessarily know if you're my friend or not, as I think that's an autism thing, but I never quite understand what a friendship truly means. And so for me, I was trying to solidify that a bit more. I'm officially in my mid-20s. I'm 25, and I still feel like I have no friends, even though I do. And so I'm trying to work on that a bit more. I'm trying to work on the fact that I do have friends. I think for so long I was so used to having in my head that a friend is somebody who you could call and they're there for you. And to an extent, I know I could do that for a good chunk of them. But I think it's hard when you had your best friend for so long and then he just kind of up and left for reasons you understand now, but at the time was so heartbreaking. And then now he's come back into my life, sort of. He's been messaging me periodically, which is really odd and kind of fucking with my head a little bit, because I'm a very blunt person, very honest, I'm very to the point. And so when I say, hey, are we friends? And someone goes, wait, I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? I'm like, we're either friends or we're not. I need to know what that means. And so not having a clear answer to a lot of things messes with my brain. So that's been interesting. But then in saying that, you know, I have my super close friends that I love dearly. My hubby, Caitlin, Declan, Baker, Tristan, like they're my core four. Who, like, you know, Tristan lives in America at the moment. He's coming back hopefully soon. God, I miss him so much. Oh, I don't know if you'll ever see this, but God, I miss seeing him. I miss just being able to talk to him. Which I know I can still talk to him because, you know, social media's a thing, blah, blah, blah. But unfortunately, I am notoriously bad for not texting people. And it's not because I'm like, oh, I hate people and they have to text me first. It is literally just like oh, I forget this is a thing. And you live on the other side of the world. So even if I do text you, it's not like you're going to get it at the same hour as me. You're going to get it and it's going to be like midnight and I'm texting you and it's 2 p.m. Do you know what I mean? Like, that kind of fucks with your brain a little bit. So I'm trying to get better at just periodically messaging. So like Halloween passed, and for us in Australia, it's not an overly big deal, but we still do it. And I know in America it's super intense, and he's a paramedic. And so I texted him just being like, please be safe. Hope all as well. You know, and he responded the next day being like, I was all good, thank you. But I'm trying to get better at just doing like little messages here and there. Like him and I are a couple of days apart, so I texted him for my birthday, he texted me for his. Like, you know, like those little things. But I want it to be more than just like, Merry Christmas, Happy Birthday, Happy Easter, blah, 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 blah. You know, like a lot of those things. So I'm trying to be like, hey, this is what's happening in life, blah, blah, blah. Which reminds me, I should actually text them that I have a new job. I have a new job as well. I'm not going to disclose where, but I'm a property service officer, which basically means I'm like a handyman, but who does admin and does meetings, and I'm like a mother hen, which is great because I've been a mother hen my entire existence. I might as well get paid for it. But yeah, so I've, you know, quit one job to start another. I am so all over the joint. It's ridiculous. So having to like balance the loss of a loved one, the fear of losing another one, while no one that you live with kind of gives a fuck, is super challenging. And then on top of that, to live with people who, you know, I spent just over a week with my parents, to help them out and, you know, with everything. And I had come back, and the house I live with, which is the house I have with 2 other roommates and my partner, it was disgusting. Like, it had looked like no one had taken the trash out in over a week. It had looked like shit everywhere. The dishes were still in the dishwasher, clearly had not been done. Nothing had been vacuumed or tidied. And I know I'm a little bit of a clean freak. As I've gotten over the years, I have realized that my physical spaces, I'm saying this as my background looks like that, my physical shared spaces, I'm a clean freak for. Like, this is gonna sound stupid, but I mop the house like twice a week. I vacuum 2 to 3 times a week. I am cleaning surfaces. I am making sure that visual lines are clean. I make sure the dishes are done, and then da-da-da-da-da. But I feel like I'm the only one who does that. And so when I am not okay, or having my little breakdown moments, or, you know, when shit hits the fan and I have to be MIA for 10 days, nothing got done. And it was so frustrating having all of that being built on top. I had just been a wannabe nurse for, you know, I was a home care nurse for basically a week. I then had to, with a patient who, I love my dad, he's not the greatest patient. And then with a depressed mum who would not eat food, and so I'm trying to force them to eat food. I'm trying to make sure dad does his steps and his exercises, and I'm having to wake up every 2 to 4 hours to make sure the catheter's empty, and even though if I give him the overnight one, I have to make sure it's done correctly and I wake up in time. And the one time I had to sleep in, I got told off for. So there's a lot of compounding things that just kind of explode. And to know as well, like, my extended family is in a lot of all over the placeness, to say in polite words. With the passing of my nonna, it is very much like a mafia leader has gone. We're a little lost at the moment, but I think we'll kind of find our footing soon. It's been hell on ice. And I am surprised I haven't crashed out more. I've had 2 crashes recently, and typically when I say crashes, it's because I get very overwhelmed and overstimulated with a lot of things. And a lot's been happening. And so when most people, small things occur, like a change, because I've had so many big changes happen recently that I haven't been able to fully comprehend, deal with, mend with, whatever you want to say, I just explode. So a great example of this is, I was at my pretty high breaking point, and, at the moment I work a retail job, which for somebody with autism is not the greatest thing. I quite liked it because I liked that most of it was organizational, which is my, tism bread and butter. But the socializing aspect is incredibly a lot for me. So a lot of times I have to just come home, chill out for 5-10 minutes, just enough to let it all simmer down. And so I'm already at a boiling point, right? With all of the shit I've just mentioned, plus retail job. And then somebody goes, hey, I want to rearrange the entire house that we all share because I've been thinking about it for months. My brain just went, that's it, explosion. Didn't have a second to even think about if it was a good or a bad thing. I just exploded. So I do what I do best when I have my tism explosions. I personally really like when I'm having my freakouts, either a dark space, if I can get one, or at the very minimum sitting on a floor, because it feels grounding to me, and soft items. So that's why you'll notice soft plushies, you'll notice soft blankets, you'll notice soft things everywhere, because that's a stimuli that's calming to me. So for this, I can rub this, I can hold it, I can squeeze it. The floor, because it's not moving, it's not cushioned to an extent. Do you know what I mean? So I know that that's not going anywhere. That is my literal grounding. So this is gonna sound odd, but what I do, which just helps me for now, is I will put myself in my closet. I will sit there with the lights off. I will let my emotions fall out of me, whatever they are. I have a pillow in there that I tend to just kind of hold or have nearby, and I just let myself go. So if that means I'm crying, screaming, throwing up, whatever, I'm doing that because I'm doing whatever I need to do to get it out of my system. Because if I hold it in, it will get a shit ton worse. So I just have to do that. And I have had to do that 2 or 3 times this past month because I've compounded everything from September. I've compounded uni stresses. I have compounded just life and friendship stresses and dramas and all of these things that I shouldn't have to be stressing about currently. I am stressing about, and so my body's just gone, okay, you will break now. You need to break. 2 or 3 days ago, 3 days ago, I suffer with chronic pain, and I don't really know the source of it. There's about 10 different reasons I can give you, but we don't have a true answer. and I haven't had a big pain in a long time. We think one of the main issues was resolved, but I still get some small ones here and there, which is fine. I know how to deal with it. I've dealt with it for the past 8 or so years by now. Anyway, besides that, I had a really bad pain episode where it was to the point of like I was in bed by 8 p.m. I could not move. I was like sobbing. I had to get Matt to like hold me, to bring me a heat pack, to get some water. He had to help me sit up to like give me some pain medication. And then I've got a super long heat pack that goes all the way across my back, like, vertically, and then up onto my shoulder, which godsend. My friend made me that, bless her. And I've got one that sits like right here that actually like holds it, which is super nice when it's more localized. So this was becoming a full body one, and so we just grabbed that. I chucked it on me, make sure I was wrapped up, and I just literally conked out, I think from like 9 p.m. until about 11 the next day. Now, I do sleep a lot, but when it comes to pain stuff, holy shit, sometimes have I slept a long time. I think the longest I have physically slept, like 15, 16 hours or something ridiculous, without any medications of any description that makes me sleepy or anything that makes me sleep. I just funk out. I remember because I had gotten home from school. I got home, it was like 3:15. I woke up and it was 8 a.m. So whatever that math is. 5, 6, 7. 17 hours. It was close enough. But like, you know, I have been very stressed out this couple of months. I didn't realize how stressed out I had been until I said all that. A lot's kind of happened. And, you know, my life being my life, I've been trying to organize Christmas stuff, which has not been going to plan. Trying to organize my anniversary. I'm trying to organize a lot of things. And so it's been very exhausting. And I apologize, this podcast has been very emotionally driven. It's been very all over the place. It's been very tiring. Very, what am I supposed to do? But yeah, sometimes you just gotta kind of talk with what's going on. And unfortunately, a lot has been going on. I've been trying to look after myself more, whether it comes to reading. Fortunately, I haven't been going to the gym as much due to a lot of my body pains, which has not helped. I want to get back into the routine of gym. Routine in very loose quotation marks. For the people who don't know, I can't make a routine. At no point in my system is there been a routine of like, wake up, do X, do Y, do Z, or go to gym, do this. I don't, even at the gym, I don't have a routine. I have a good friend of mine who is trained to be a personal trainer. So he's written me out what to do. So I just go, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And then I go, I don't want to do that right now. I'll do the other thing and I'll come back to that. I've tried to make a routine so many times. I've tried to do something consistently 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 80, 200 plus times in a row. It just doesn't stick. The second that I stop doing that thing, or the second I stop thinking about it, it's out of my system. Which becomes really frustrating when you're a person who loves structure and who loves knowing what's happening, and your body's just like, I don't fucking know what's happening. And especially right now, I think I'm in a transitional phase because this is the first time I've never been in a educational situation, in the sense of I'm finishing my degree, and yes, I'm doing a diploma next year, but it's like once a week from my knowledge. It was the first time I've kind of stopped doing heavy amount of education since reception. Since I was 5. So for the past 20 years, all I've been doing is schoolwork, homework, like repeat assignments, blah, blah, blah. So it's very odd to me to be like, oh, I can't just come home now and do assignments. What am I supposed to do with free time? You're telling me I can game or read or watch anime or do something? It doesn't make sense to me. And so I think that's why once I start my new job, as of this being uploaded, I would have started already, but currently I start next week. I think once that starts, that will kind of have a solidified-ish routine of 9 to 5. I'll get home roughly 5:45, 6, probably 5:45. But then I could be like, okay, well, I can grab Matt and we can go to the gym and then come home. And by the time that happens, then it'll be dinner and then I'll be tired. Then I will probably want to only do reading, writing, etc. So, yeah. Anyway, this has been a very emotionally driven podcast. I apologize on that, but that's just what my life has been like. It's been a very emotionally driven. It's been very, what am I doing with my life? It's been very, okay, this is the situation. Cool, tight, cool. So, yeah, I'm gonna leave this here. Thank you all so much for watching, listening. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below how you guys deal with losing someone or the thought of almost losing somebody, because both can be just as scary. So I love you all very much. I hope you have a great day today, and I will see/listen to you. I can't English today. I'll just see you in the next episode, alright? Bye.